Classic's map as well. He is the kind of player to play passive and defensive, and we saw that so many times against Zerg in this season alone.
Yeah, I like what you're saying, Moonglade. It may just be true. We're about to jump into game number 2 here. It's going to be Deadwing, as we previously mentioned. Stats the favorite here, getting the first win. Let's see if we can keep it going up against Classic. Up here in the top left, in the blue, our Protoss player from SK Telecom T1. It is Classic.
The chin toss. Down here in the bottom left, got the player up a game already. He is the one and only Stats.
The Waldo toss.
The Waldo toss. Where is he?
I can't see him, Moonglade. I don't know where he is. Can you tell me where he is on the map once again?
Bottom left, mate, as we can see right here.
Thanks, Moonglade.
I found him. That's tricky.
Good job. Classic on this map. You were mentioning how this may have been his map pick, and I kind of do agree with you. This is actually the map that I remember the most, where he played against Creator, and he totally crushed him when they went against each other in the Challenger matches of the SSL Season 2 here. He just looks so strong on this map. That greedy play, he got a very early expand, got that robotic stick out super early, and just got so many different advantages along the way. He looks so comfortable on this map. I wouldn't be surprised if this were not his, if this were his favorite map actually for PvP.
Yeah, I get that impression. We'll see how he plays it out there. I mean, already throwing down a dodgy pylon at the natural behind the mineral, so he could throw something out there.
Maybe throw a wrench into Classic's play.
That would be the trick right there, Valdez. Yeah. What kind of wrench there? Is it going to be a Stargate wrench or a Twilight wrench? Twilight probably better on this map, considering it depends when you're going to scout as well, right? If you scout early enough, you can get off a pretty decent position on your Stargate, but if you don't scout at all, you might want to throw down a Twilight because make it a little bit easier to get DTs out than come out anywhere on the map. But look at this. Interesting gateway placement.
Okay, so it's just going to be an extra gate pretty fast.
Yeah.
And Classic, he goes for the Watchtower and then goes for the opposite side. So it's going to be a very late scout from Classic, actually, before he can even get into the main base, possibly.
Yeah, he's going for a Stargate as well. So Classic's looking to get the Oracles out.
And that's a rushed out Stargate. That's right when the Cybernetics core finished. Goes for Warp Gate as well. Warp Gate research there. No units just yet. And Stats should be able to get the scout here because he does close spawn scout first.
This is a very smart from Stats. You know, I love this 2-gateway build on this map. Going to give you that security early on. Find out exactly what's going on, and from here, take another early expansion. And Stats should be ahead from it because he'll have more than enough to deflect any oracles on the map. It's going to be Phoenix there.
Okay, I actually like that. It's going to be able to get to the base of Stats very quickly. He wasn't able to scout with the probe. And look at this, actually. Stats is going to throw down a third gate and keep chrono boosting out his Warp Gate research. So I think we'll see a 3-gate very, very fast here out of Stats. He's looking to put on that pressure, kind of an unexpected build on this big map.
Well, look at where this probe is at the top as well. It's going to be throwing down a pretty aggressive pylon. I like this choice a lot, and the choice of Phoenix is going to come back to bite him, I feel, because he does not have that damage to do against any probes on the map. It's going to be one Phoenix, and all right, the second one's going to be queued up. And it can do work. It's going to, give him that air advantage, but if there's aggression on the ground, Stats has no reason to keep anything at home. He can just be completely aggressive against Phoenix with these Stalkers. Look at that, a natural pylon.
That's right in the face of Classic. Classic is adding a robotics facility right now and trying to make a Void Ray here to defend this push, it seems. Something he saw on the main base ticked him off to this, I think. He's got to have some idea that this is coming.
Yeah, well, let's see. He's got one photon overcharge available, but after that, Classic is in a lot of trouble. 5 Stalkers, 6 Stalkers planning to go up that ramp.
He's got to force out this photon overcharge very fast. Trying to chip away at this Mothership core, trying to force it down. He's actually going to focus down some of these Phoenixes first. Void Ray pops out.
Oh, this is so smart, actually. Forcing a lift like this means that the photon overcharge can just do so much damage against these Stalkers, losing half of them already.
Yeah, Classic is dealing with this push so well.
I love what we're seeing from Stats, though. In the meantime, he is secretly making a lot of Phoenix. So he's going to try for that air superiority. We already did see Classic commit to 1 Void Ray to help defend against this, which is a big investment.
Yeah, but at the same time, Classic did get the scout with this first Phoenix. He got into the main base of Stats and saw that Stargate. So we see him also continuously pumping out Phoenixes after that first Void Ray. And now Classic has got a very formidable army. He's going to move down the ramp and just say, come at me, bro. I can fight you straight up now.
Yeah, he can do very well against what Stats has. But Stats, once again, getting a pretty big lead with that expansion. You know, the Nexus is half done at this point already. And it looks like Classic's going to get his now, but it's going to be late. But look at that supply advantage already for Classic as well. Like he's about 10 up right now. It's not too bad.
Pretty much only an army supply for now. He's got like 1 extra Phoenix, got the Void Ray and an Immortal out for now. And maybe an extra Zealot there or so. Stats lost 3 of his Stalkers in that attack, so it wasn't the most successful attack.
And I don't think he killed anything either. He almost killed the Mothership core. It's on 4 HP.
Yeah. He like almost killed a Phoenix and the Void Ray as well. His focus firing was kind of off there in that fight.
Yeah. No, he should have kind of assumed what was going to happen as well when he saw the Phoenix waiting. Like, they're definitely going to pick up half your Stalkers because what are you going to do when you can't move them and there's going to get few to deal with a Phoenix? Photon Overcharge is going to be wailing away at them. Yeah,
and the Zealots even on the ground. Those 2 Zealots did so much damage because the Stalkers weren't really able to micro with all the lifts, and they were trying to focus down a bunch of air units. So just kind of micro around those 2 Zealots, and they were getting in the way and getting a lot of damage down to the Stalkers that were not lifted. So Classic just handled it so well.
Stats going for a bit of a poke, but I think he's realized at this point that there are a decent amount of Phoenix for Classic as well. He's kind of just waiting for it. And if you get caught out in the map, if you get behind the enemy Phoenix and they have more, you're just going to lose them all because they shoot as they fly, so you can essentially never escape unless you have a faster unit.
Yeah. Stats now for the second time this game with a pretty severe supply block. May get him a bit behind in that macro, maybe a bit flustered after his failed attack. He's going to be the first person going for a second Stargate here, so he's going to commit heavily to the Phoenixes.
Okay.
Whereas Classic just sitting back getting his Twilight Council now and slowly just pumping out a 1 Stargate.
Good scout off, actually. You get to see the numbers of what Classic has. 8 Phoenix so far. Planning to make more. But yeah, I do like the second Stargate a lot. It's going to really catch up.
It's kind of cute from Classic, trying to hide a Dark Shrine as well as some gateways on the right side of the map.
Well, that Robo facility is almost finished for Stats, so he should have an Observer in a decent place for the DTs, I would hope. And there, it's going to come down to what his Phoenix can actually get done.
Yeah. And with this many gateways hidden, he's got to be going for some kind of surprise attack onto Stats here. Maybe just go with the DTs in first, and if they don't get any damage done, make a bunch of Archons. They're great against the Phoenixes if they bunch up. Can do a lot of, splash damage to them.
Ooh, got to be careful where these go as well. If he gets behind them, he's going to lose almost all of them.
Classic is going to try to snipe out an Observer possibly also. He's got his Observer right there on the edge. And, the robotics facility was just made here for Stats.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
By the time he gets out 1 Observer, there'll only be 1 Observer, of course. If you can snipe that out.
If you can focus it down, right?
Stats is just not going to expect this.
He's not going to have anything to detect for it. He'd be in so much trouble. 3 DTs going down. He's got an Observer in place.
The Observer is going with the Phoenixes.
Ooh, and it's so much slower as well. This is going to do a lot of damage. Classic.
He's going straight for the Robo.
Oh, wow.
And he's got 4 DTs now. warped in, excuse me. One of them getting to work on the workers, but two of them already getting that robotics really, really low. It's going to go down.
Oh, this is so much damage already. Such a Phoenix advantage for Stats right now, but he can't make use of it at all. He's got to wait for this observer. And he's losing so many probes already and no mining whatsoever either.
This may just be too much damage. He's not mining at all, like you said. 12 probes already down. He's going to get the Nexus.
Yes.
Oh, wait. 42. He gets all the lifts just barely. And he saves his Nexus. He may be able to focus it down, but he's at a risk of losing a lot of units if he wants to do that, Classic is.
He's got to be so careful now. Looks like we're seeing the rest of the units move down from Classic, but despite all the economic damage, that Phoenix count is insane right now, and I think it could do a lot of work against what Classic has. That is
warping
not
in
enough Phoenix.
7 Stalkers at the same time with Blink that just finished up. That's where all those hidden gateways are coming into effect.
Okay, there we go. If he fights now, he's going to have at least a better shot than if he waits for the rest of these Stalkers to come down. And here we go. Trading pretty well is Stats, but that is so many Stalkers.
Yeah, he's going to take out all the Phoenixes, but he doesn't have much on the ground to support the Phoenixes when he's going for these lifts.
Well, he's got a lot of energy on these Phoenix as well. If he can keep warping in, maybe he has a shot, actually. More Stalkers coming in from the north behind these Stalkers.
Whoa. Classic warped in a bunch of Stalkers, but they were kind of out of position. They were on the right side of the map. They have to walk all the way over here, and all of these lifts are getting Stats back in this game.
Somehow, some way, still not much damage going down as well. You know, finally everything's starting to get cleaned up, and somehow he's completely turned this around.
Classic just not happy in that booth now after losing that fight.
That is insane. Just way too many Phoenix.
This is pretty much everything. The one thing I'm worried about here for Stats, or actually he's still got that one observer, but where is it?
I think it's just lagging behind. Let me have a quick look.
See where that observer is. It's
coming
with
with
the
monster
core.
Yeah, if he counterattacks with the DT, he might get that Nexus, but I mean, what can you do at this point in this kind of situation when your base is overwhelmed, your army's been broken, you're down 30 supply?
I suppose you just have to hope and kill all the probes and just try to kill all the buildings before your opponent does?
Yeah.
Because he's got a lot of hidden buildings over on the right side of the map.
He does, actually, and you know what? This could be a big problem. We may actually see Stats turn around, or actually maybe recall back, actually, now that I think about it.
We may just see that. He does have to take out all of the probes, but there is one with the army, and it's making a cannon right now, so that's pretty huge for Stats. May just stick around, defend the probe, and make some more buildings and just go for a straight-up fight with his observer. One probe now for each player. One probe of Stats is with his army attacking Classic, making that cannon.
Yeah, very smart making a cannon there.
Where's the one on Classic?
Classic E?
It's right there. It's attacking.
Ah, yeah. Okay, it's in the natural of Stats' base. Hiding around. It cannot make anything, though, so it's essentially useless. Completely out of money at both of them. You see a couple more. Looks like I think we saw Stats throw down one extra pylon. Hiding it somewhere. It might have even been a warp in.
Yeah. The one hope for Classic, I guess, would have been to snipe out the observer, but it can't be sniped because he's got no detection.
Yeah, that is the big problem, isn't it?
So he just has to...
And there's a cannon as well, which is going to help out a lot.
What he can try to do is just kill all the buildings, maybe blink onto the cannon and the pylon.
If that's anything left, then it might be his best shot, right?
Yeah.
The only other pretty much building out in the map is that pylon, which is kind of in front of the third base ramp. And that can get dealt with pretty easily.
And look at this. Classic, he lost both of his Nexi. Stats sees where the other buildings are on the map. Sees them down in the bottom right. But at the same time, Stats does have to defend those two buildings.
Well, Phoenix are always going to help out in this situation because he can lift up, you know, half this army, essentially.
Yeah.
He's still got 7, so that's like 7 less Stalkers to help try and DPS down at all.
I think he's just got to get vision on where the army of Classic is and just try to go for a straight-up fight. Lift up a bunch of the Stalkers and just chase them down.
Force the fight before he gets anywhere near his vulnerable buildings, because the buildings that Stats has left over are so fragile.
Yeah.
If he's caught out of position, he loses the game very easily.
I wonder if Stats knows if Classic has an observer or not.
Well, So the Stalkers are getting around. He's found them. He's going to start lifting everything up here. Not the best engagement for Stats, but he has more than enough to clean this up.
Yeah, just enough ground army to go head-to-head. And Classic, he's making one last stand, but he's going to live, or he's going to lose everything, rather. Not going to live, and he's going to be taken out here in game number 2.
He's going to die horribly, Valdez, as everything gets wiped out.
GG. Bit of a crazy game there on Deadwing.
Damn, I thought Classic had that for sure, man. When he got so much damage done with those DTs, nothing was mining. So many probes are going down, but that Phoenix count from Stats saved the day. Yeah. Not a good fight in the middle of the map from Classic to just put him so far behind, losing that entire army.
Yeah. We've seen it time and time and again in PvP. Phoenixes can actually be very strong. Originally, you get a lot of Blink Stalkers out there, you can kind of counter them, but if you get enough in mass, you can lift like 10, 15 Stalkers if you've got enough Phoenixes, and you can just straight up win a fight if you've got enough on the ground to support it.
Absolutely, and he managed to just warp in enough units to kind of help him out in the ground as well, so it was a close one, but pretty exciting and a great game, and Stats, just dominating. 2 up already and 2 to go.
Yeah.
If he gets that, he's through to the finals.
It kind of shows already that, like, in game number 1, Stats versus Classic, very straight-up game, small advantages here or there. Stats is able to go head-to-head with Classic there pretty easily, takes the game. And then in game number 2, a crazy, wild, and wacky game all over the place, hidden buildings, DTs, sniped-out observers. Stats still wins the game just by better decision-making, better control with his army as well.
Yeah, just better composition. Yeah, making that army, that kind of army, and then finding the right fight. So
Stats is looking dominant overall.
Next up, I think we have King Sejong Station.
Yes, we do.
So another smaller map. Should be a bit of fun. I'm going to say this is Stats' choice.
Yeah.
I'm not sure for sure, but judging by how these players are playing right now, it makes a bit more sense.
Yeah.
Classic has been more of the defensive player.
For sure. Not sure if we're going to go to a break just yet before we get to that game 3. I think we did that last time, but things tend to change sometimes.
Per league. All right.
All right, there we go. 5-minute break. See you guys in a bit.